Here today to give you an update on the investigation into the kidnapping of Mr Chris Baghsarian. At this stage in the investigation, it's still an ongoing investigation, and we still are looking for the safe recovery of Mr Baghsarian. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but I do say that it is still an active investigation and there'll be some questions that I cannot answer. Thank you. In all these investigations and kidnapping investigations, we believe and we conduct our inquiries that the victim and the hostage is still alive. So at this stage, our view is that he is still alive and we're looking for his safe return.
That video that's getting around, that's really, really awful, and the photographs, if it's a case of mistaken identity, which you say it is, why do you think that his captors then haven't released him? They've heard your appeals. You know, it's been in the media well and truly. Why do you think that they wouldn't have returned him?
I'm aware of the videos and photos that have been circulating. Look, that's not ideal in our investigations. Can I answer why they haven't released him? I can't answer on their behalf. I don't know why they have not released him, other than to say that we've put the appeal out to say they have the wrong man. What I can say is that to those that are responsible, please release Mr Baghsarian. Let us know where he is. We're looking to get him the assistance and the medical assistance and treatment that he requires, and we'll do the rest. Let us know where he is. Please put him somewhere safe. Contact somebody. It doesn't have to be the police, but just contact somebody to say where Mr Baghsarian is, and we'll do the rest. We'll take care of him.
Are there hostage negotiators currently working with police to prepare for some sort of ransom or freeing of him?
At this stage, there's been no ransom delivered to the hostage's family, so there's no persons involved.
Have you established who the intended victim was?
In relation to that, that's one of the questions we cannot answer. We have an active investigation and we're looking at all types of lines of inquiry, and other than to say I can't answer that any further.
How were you so sure on Saturday that when you did your first appeal that it was a case of mistaken identity? I mean, I gather it takes a while to go through people's backgrounds and family connections, etc., but how come you were able to come out so definitively?
What I can say to you that Mr Baghsarian's family are not involved in any criminal world. We know that these kind of offences usually involve those that are involved in organised crime networks. Their family are in distress. All they want is their father to be returned, their grandfather to be returned. And what I can say is that I'm 1,000,000% confident that they have the wrong person.
What do we know about the people who took him?
At this stage, it's a line of inquiry. What we can say is up to 3 offenders attended his premises at 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday. In these kind of offences, we would suspect that there's more than 3 that turned up involved. And at this stage, it's early in our investigations, but we are making inquiries to identify those responsible.
Do you believe he's being held in Sydney?
Well, that's a question I cannot answer. We don't know where he's held. That's why we're making this appeal.
Can you say whether or not the intended victim had underworld connections?
Again, that's the line of inquiry I can't really discuss at this stage, other than to say that there are a number of inquiries taking place. What we have the Robbery and Serious Crime Squad leading this investigation. We have a number of detectives from Ryde Local Area Command where the offence took place. We have investigators from the North West region assisting. We have other detectives from State Crime Command assisting this investigation, and we are throwing every resource that we have at this kidnapping case so we can get the safe return of Mr Baghsarian.
Can you tell us how the videos and images came to leak and become circulated? Because obviously that seems to suggest that the kidnappers have shared them with at least one other party.
Well, what I'm aware is that I understand that those videos are circulating. What I'm confident in, that I have seen them. and I can confidently say that they have not been leaked by the police. I understand that reporters have a job to do and they often get sent images. It's not ideal that those images are out there, but I cannot say anything further about that.
In terms of this idea of mistaken identity, there's obviously John Versace's case, another instance where an elderly man had distant links to an alleged underworld figure, and now we have someone who appears to have no familial or personal links to the underworld. How worrying is it then, this idea of mistaken identity, seeing seemingly innocent members of the public fall into the traipses of the underworld?
Well, what I can say is that this is not a typical crime that happens, that the offenders have got the wrong person. It's not an instance where that they're randomly taking people for the sake of it. They were intending to take somebody, but have taken the wrong person. They have kidnapped the wrong person. So my focus is not on those other cases, but on this case, that we are looking to get the safe return of Mr Bagsharian.
Has there been any fresh communication from the captors to the family in the last 12 or 24 hours? And also, what can you tell us about these captors? Who are they? Who are they linked to?
So what I can say to you is that the family haven't received any ransom. So this is a difficult case because in a normal kidnapping case, we would be aware of a ransom. But because the family are not involved in this type of crime and they're not involved in that world, they haven't received a ransom. So they're not involved, so there's nothing I can expand on that. And in relation to those involved, well, we're still investigating that, and I can't make any further comment until we do investigate, we do find out who's responsible, and then we do bring them before the courts.
But someone must be communicating with someone. Like that initial video has gone out to someone, apparently the intended target's relative overseas. But so there's communication there.
I understand your question. I understand your question.
To you guys as well.
I understand your question, but what I can say to you is this: it's not something that I can discuss because it's an active investigation. And we do not want to say anything or do anything that's going to bring any harm to Mr Baghsarian. Our main focus is to have Mr Baghsarian released. And as I said, I appeal, and this is a very strange appeal, but we appeal to those that are responsible to release Mr Baghsarian somewhere safe. Take him somewhere safe and inform us or inform somebody that we can get to him and get him the medical treatment he needs. That's what I can say to you. And another thing I'd like to make an appeal about is that if you are in your daily travels that you have seen somebody in a house next door or a house up the road or a house across the road where there's not normal activity, there's not normal goings, coming and going from that premises, but you have seen people coming and going that don't normally or don't fit in that location. Perhaps you may have even seen Mr Baghsarian and you don't know that you've seen him. He was wearing a flannelette shirt, a red and blue flannelette shirt. He was wearing a pair of grey pyjamas. 85 years old. I think you might notice that you may have seen somebody like that, or have you seen people coming and going from a neighbour's premises that is not normally occupied? Please let us know. It may not have anything to do with anything, but it may well do. And let us find out if that's the case and see if Mr Baghsarian is there.
Mr Baghsarian requires daily medication. How critical is his condition? How many more days could he be held in captive before his health seriously deteriorates?
Well, as you know, he's 85 years old. He's on daily medication. I'm not going to go into the medication he's on. But every hour is very important. We need him returned now.
Are there any other parts of his physical condition that you might have seen in the videos or heard reports of that you can confirm for us?
Look, I can say I have seen the videos, as I said, confirmed before. Other than to say that they are distressing to see an 85-year-old man in that condition. So that's why the appeal is here today, to have any information we can to have Mr Baghsarian released and into the proper care and treatment that he requires.
Has there been any communication with the intended target or the intended target's family?
Again, that's a question I cannot answer because it's an active investigation, and I'm not going to answer any questions in relation to that.
Last question.
There'd be members of the public who are seeing this story. They might have family members who are vulnerable, perhaps living by themselves, and seeing a random man who has no affiliations with any type of crimes being taken from his home and hasn't been seen again. Do you have a message to the public about who may be concerned seeing this story about their own relatives? Are you concerned that the underworld has got it so incredibly wrong that they will get it wrong again?
The message I'd say to the public is that the police are out there actively hunting and looking for Mr Baghsarian. The fact that these offenders or these kidnappers have got it so wrong is concerning. But I can say that those who have elderly parents or grandparents need not fear, that they go along their business with and their contact with their family members as normal. Contact your parents, contact your grandparents, but don't be in any fear.
Awesome. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.